Hi, this is Whitney from Start Your Better Life, and I wanted to talk to you today about overwhelm, what it is, why it's important to look at it, and is there anything that we can do about it. Um, let's just dive in. So, first of all, overwhelm in its most basic sense is being overcome in mind and feelings. It's being loaded down with an excess amount of stuff in your life, and that stuff can come in the form of expectations from all the different relationships that you're in, from work to personal parts of your life, responsibilities, judgments. How are you stacking up to your goals and your dreams? Are your goals and dreams themselves overwhelming? Um, Judgments. Um, who are we to the people that we're in relationships with, to the world? Who are we to ourselves? Some of us have suffered terrible accidents, leaving us with terrible, overwhelming uncertainty and maybe financial pressures, identity pressures. Um, some of us have had illnesses, suffering from grief. Both of those have many aspects of overwhelm. Any change can have an overwhelming quality while also demanding us to make decisions, which can add to the overwhelm. Um, there are outside circumstances like climate change, pollution, social and political ideology and divides. Um, there are also the overwhelm that we come preloaded with from our childhood. Like we've built our adult lives navigating around this overwhelm. So on top of that, before you've had your coffee and your breakfast, there's this preloaded overwhelm that's kind of always there. So basically, overwhelm is the feeling like the stuff of life is just too much. Well, why does it matter to look at this, talk about it, understand it? Well, overwhelm puts pressure on your mind. Your mind then talks to your emotions. Your emotions send a signal of distress to your body, which sends out a bunch of chemicals, creating an environment. And now this environment is where your next thoughts come from. And these thoughts, by this point, are usually not the most positive ones. And this experience can become so saturated so quickly that it's hard to peel off any one piece and deal with it as we quickly get swamped by the adrenaline and other hormones and neurological chemicals, and we feel stuck. We then layer in judgment like we need to do this, we should do this, why aren't we doing this? And sometimes we feel stuck for days, weeks, years, and even decades. It's hard to act when we feel so scrambled up with the big overpowering sensations. Things feel too big to do anything about. And it's like we have this silent, low-grade scream of panic always playing in the background. And it's literally soaking our biology in the chemicals of stress. This impacts our organs and all of their related systems. The prefrontal cortex, the blood drains away from that. Your liver in a state of stress dumps a bunch of glucose into the bloodstream. Your respiration changes. All of this biology, we have our thoughts, we have our emotions, and now the biology, and then the next thoughts. So this impacts all of this, so it's going to also impact all of our relationships, starting with the relationship we have with ourselves. A lot of times it's easier, though, just to distract ourselves from all of this. Flipping on the TV, turning to going out to eat or drink with friends, plugging in or tuning in to some other vice or distraction. Sometimes we just kind of curl up and go to sleep to avoid it all, because overwhelm is exhausting just on its own, not even doing anything about it. Overwhelming is exhausting and it depletes us. And it's easy to start blaming something or someone for the distress we feel. It's easy to slip into anger, frustration, disappointment, bitterness. It's easy to victimize ourselves. It's easy to start feeling like a victim of all of this, and to even have a little self-loathing, like, why aren't you able to do something about this? Why aren't you able to make a different decision? Well, why it's important to resolve this, and why it's important to really lean into this, is that overwhelm puts tremendous pressure on our thoughts, which impacts our emotion, which impacts our body, our biology. The conditions of our body impact our next thought, and this keeps us in this endless loop that actually bypasses our executive function, that prefrontal cortex, that most evolved part of our brain that holds logic, reason, order. And so if we're unable to get there, it's bypassing that, and we're actually, overwhelm triggers this survival response, which is fight, flee, fawn, freeze. And then we're judging ourselves and self-loathing ourselves because we're not doing something different, when we're literally stuck in this kind of overwhelm loop. We can't peel things away objectively and do anything about them. And instead of feeling better and using healthy strategies, we're left with a racing heart, elevated blood pressure, we're exhausted, but we're riddled with insomnia, we're flip-flopping from anxiety to depression and back again, we're angered easily, we struggle with our weight and our food choices as well as other choices. We feel discomfort in our bodies and in our lives, and our relationships are strained because we're having to navigate all of this, and have a relationship inside and outside of our reactions to our overwhelm and all the coping mechanisms that we have. So it leaves us literally treading water and never feeling any better. So are we doomed? Are we doomed to be stuck in this overwhelm loop in our life? Are we doomed to have the unconscious hijacking of overwhelm, leaving us to just flip on the boob tube or whatever it is that we do to try and escape all of the pressure and kind of the disappointment of not being able to do anything about it? No, you're not. We just have to start looking at it and doing things differently. And over the last several months, I've been working really hard to pull several processes together to create a massive download, basically a dump for overwhelm, where you can start tapping down the walls of overwhelm right now. And then within a few hours, feel more grounded, more present, more peace in your life. It is phenomenal. I've used it with several of my clients, working all of this out and creating this program. And a lot of them have said this is a real turning point in their lives doing this work. Also, almost every single one of them have said in their own way that this is a really validating process. And just that one aspect of being validated and really seeing it from a different perspective, like self-validation, is a really amazing tool, can change everything. But you will begin one person, and at the other end of this, you're going to be a different version of the person that you are. It's very powerful. So I've put a free step-by-step where I'll teach you all of the processes, and you can take it and run with it. And there's also, for a fee, another class that if you want more support and more guidance and that community, that option will be there as well. This is rolling out, hopefully sooner rather than later. And I am tremendously excited. I can't wait to share it with you and help you get relief, and all of us come together to get relief. So go ahead and leave your overwhelm in the comments. Let me know what you're interested in as I fine tune the last pieces. Share this video with people that you think might benefit from tapping down their walls of overwhelm. I know that we've been through a lot this year. We've been through a lot in life, but we certainly have been put to the test this year. A lot of beautiful blessings, but a lot of hard moments, a lot of choices, a lot of grief. And it's time for all of us to come together and start feeling better now. And this is an easy process. Anybody can do it. I'm going to walk you through it, and I'm really excited. Until then, I hope you're well, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to talk about why this is important, because all this overwhelm is going to affect our DNA and actually aging. Anyway, until then, be well. I'll see you soon.